Okay.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports, we connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guests. And yes, I can use this sound today.
Miss Carter.
Here we are.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Kellee Malone is with us. Team Reliable Realty. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron.
And Sean Malone, Celebration Escrow. Do you guys celebrate a lot?
We do,
All the
Ron.
time.
All the
time.
gotta love it. Gotta love the
It's
gotta
good to
love
be
this.
back.
Glad to have you guys with us.
Great to be back. Thank you.
And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team, when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, we celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. What are we going to celebrate today as, well, let's see. We've got National Gazpacho Day.
Woo!
Now, I got to look at this closely because I know my team does tend to give me a little bit of a heckling here. But we got this gazpacho that looks good. I think that looks more like sour cream on there. It's probably not whipped cream today. So they kind of look the same. National Gazpacho Day, St. Nicholas Day. Didn't that come up a little later in the month? I just throw that out there. World Trick Shot Day. Well, if you're a Lakers fan, a trick shot would be something that goes in the basket. This year, we don't see that very often. Sean, are you a Laker fan?
No.
Well, I suffer there too. He's got his cowboy hat on right now. So.
Still Cowboys.
Not a Maverick fan, are you?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, we might have to get some buzzers going for him if he was doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, really. Okay, let's move right along. Let's see what the markets are doing today. Do we want to see what the markets are doing today? The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 250 points as I speak to you. The S&P 500 down 44. The NASDAQ is down 162. Oil down $2.13 a barrel. Do you have any idea why that would be happening? Don't ask Joe because he don't know. But here's the issue. Remember, Joe said that if oil gets below $80 a barrel, that he's going to refill the strategic oil reserves. Do you think he's doing that? I doubt it. He probably doesn't even know that it's there. So we're going to continue. But maybe, Russia, they're still feeling it because the West said they're not going to pay more than $60 a barrel. Russia says they're not going to sell it for that. So we'll see where that battle goes. But $74 a barrel, down $2. That means we should see gas prices go down. Not in California. So, Josh, you might see gas prices go down over there in Nevada, but you're at $4.44. Well, you know something? You guys aren't dropping much. We're catching you $4.72 a gallon here in the formerly Golden State. Hawaii, they've taken the lead. They're at $5.18 for so long. We were above Hawaii. Do they have price fixing over there? I don't know. Jody's at $3.85 in Arizona. Wow, I hadn't seen Arizona. It hadn't gone down that much. Brittany, $3.10. I'm just going through our team right here. And obviously the winner, as always, would be Lori, our tremendous underwriter, right there in Louisiana. Can you believe this? Paying $2.95 a gallon for gasoline. And we're sitting here at $4.72 a gallon. We love California, don't we?
It's all that state tax.
Yeah, well, it's about 25%.
Yeah.
So gotta love it. And we know we love it because we
live
keep
here.
voting for the same people over and over again. So you gotta love this kind of stuff. Oh, but hey, you know something? We do have good weather. We can't complain about that. We get a lousy media, other than this show, of course. You know, why do I say that? Well, I was just listening to one of my favorite meteorologists. He lives right here in my hometown, or right next door, and coming up with the concept that last year we were 1 inch short in Orange County, California, of our normal water amounts. Did you hear that in the news anywhere? Jeff Ball came on the show. He's from the Orange County Business Journal. I think the Business Journal, Orange County Business Council. He was sharing with me that our water table here in Orange County, 85% capacity. Did you hear that anywhere on the news? You know, all they do is keep telling us how we have no water, conserve water, let your plants die, go spend money on natural plants, and then they're going to give you a kickback. A bribe is the word I would like to use for doing that. Think about some of these things. Does it make sense to you? Use it. Just go in and do some research on your own. I was on a call just recently, and one of the people said, you know, don't listen to MSNBC. Hee-haw. I agree with that one. Don't listen to CNBC, Fox, all those. They've all got their agenda, which is basically true. Now, do your own research. And I have a site that I'm going to go on. I'm going to share with you, especially if you're in the real estate industry. It is the absolute #1 site for you to find out what's going on in real estate. There is no better site, unquestionably. It's called tweetestate.news. Tweetestate.news. If you're not on there, you need to be. Why do I like tweetestate.news? Well, because it basically aggregates the 16 biggest providers of news in the real estate industry, real estate and mortgage, and puts all their headlines right on one page for you. So you have the option, come here, watch Ron Siegel Radio, which is what I suggest, or you can do your own research, go to Tweet Estate News and find it for yourself. Let's just give you a little bit of the heads up right there. We always bring you the greatest information because that's our job, right? It's not my job to tell you that the governor is doing a good job. Well, if he was, I would tell you that, but I'm still waiting. The bottom line here is you just need to get some great information. Joe, our buddy Joe Ingram, he's my heckler in chief. Whenever the ratings go up too high, I bring Joe on. So he's here piping in. I only drink soda to save water in California. Joe, I drink vodka for the same reason. So it's just a little bit of a different issue. Tito's, if you don't mind, Belvedere.
Oh, yeah.
Are those acceptable?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I learned how, actually, believe it or not, I learned to like tequila on the radio show. Folks from Comisario Tequila came in here and they said, Ron, if you don't like tequila, 9 o'clock in the morning, they brought us 4 bottles of tequila. For some reason, they didn't leave me the bottle that was $1,500 a bottle. I don't know why they didn't leave that one. They left the other 3. And we taste tested all of them right on the radio show, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And by 9:05,
Well,
we like tequila.
I did like tequila. I found out. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio discussing your real estate current event and tequila, current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to chat about the real estate market with Kellee and Sean Malone. We're going to talk about what's going on with home prices. I'll tell you, but I'm going to suggest ask a professional. And we'll get to more. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replays are available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in less than a minute.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. If you're just tuning in right now, you may have missed the fun, and I'm not going to tell you what happened. You've got to go to ronsiegelradio.com in the archives. But Joe says tequila makes the show better. Only when you're here, Joe, so that'll be a definite improvement with tequila if you're here. Just throw that out there. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. S&P 500 now down 45.35. Let's take a look and see what the 10-year Treasury. Wait. The 10-year Treasury is down 4 basis points. Jamie Dimon just said this morning that it's going to go up. What happened, Jamie? I guess he's been right about that as much as some of the other predictions he's been making lately. Mortgage-backed securities are down 16 basis points, means interest rates are up ever so slightly. And OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, and timely interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. No matter what anybody tells you, this is where the rates were locking at yesterday. Conforming loans, 30 years, 6.366. Jumbo, 6.385. FHA, 6.358. USDA in those rural areas, that's generally no down payment, 6.33. And the best loan on the market for only those that earned it, you cannot just apply. That would be the 30-year VA loan, 6.144. Not all of those numbers are based on locked numbers from OBMMI. It does not tell you what people might have paid or received in points. So it's just the actual locks. That's where all of that comes from. But the issue is, why are the numbers doing what they're doing? Why are the markets moving the way they're moving? Well, obviously, we've got Jamie Dimon on CNBC. No, maybe it's what's the word? Contagious, right? Diana Olick at CNBC never gets anything right when it comes to real estate. I don't even know why she's still there, but maybe it's consistency. But Jamie Dimon said he thinks the 10-year is going to move much higher. Really? What's going to be the catalyst for that? But what about, should we look at what his track record is? Okay. He said to brace for stocks to go down another 30% on October 13th. I wonder which direction they've gone. Oh, yeah, up 15. While we think the lows of the stocks have yet to be set, his timing is way off, and investors who sold everything when he said missed out on a big bear market rally. He also said oil would hit. Are you ready for this one? I gotta get a drum roll on here because this is just amazing to me that he would say this. But anybody want to take a guess of what he said oil would hit? You'd be way, way off. He said $175 per barrel. That was when oil was at 120. He was only off by a little bit, 46%. Now, would I just tell you that oil's down at 70-something a barrel? So significantly lower. But let's get into some real estate information. CoreLogic appreciation data. They released their home price index showing home prices declined by 0.1% in October and are up 10.1% year over year, which is a decline from 11.4%. 10.1, that still sounds pretty good to me, especially if you've used any leverage. So if you put 10% down, that means you've only doubled your investment, your cash part. So let's see, is that good or bad? Important, although we see some slightly negative readings month to month, they still forecast over 4% appreciation nationwide over the next year, which is in line with our expectations. Again, CoreLogic has been horrible at forecasting. They do a great job of reporting what already happened. 4% appreciation can still be meaningful for wealth creation. If someone bought a $400,000 home, puts 10% down, that means they would gain $16,000 in appreciation over the next year. Just a meager 40% return on their investment. Where else are you going to get 40%? Jamie Dimon, can you help us with that? Jobs divergence. There was a huge gap between the business survey, where the headline job creation figures come from, and the household survey, where the unemployment rate comes from. In October, the business survey showed 284,000 job creation, while the household survey was down 328,000. Then in November, the business survey was up 263,000, household survey down 138,000. So over the 2 months, the business survey showed 547,000 jobs created. That's what Joe told us. While the household survey, which actually talks to people, that one was off by 466,000. Joe doesn't talk to people. That's over a million person difference. When does that happen? Well, less than 1% of the time in the past, and the data goes back more than 70 years. Previous times were the winter of 2020. Let's see if we've got any kind of a pattern here. Spring of 2007, summer of 1981, spring of 1980, spring of 1960, and the spring of 1953. Do you know what all those years had in common? Spring recessions. You're close though, Sean. Close. Additionally, the Business Roundtable released its Q4 CEO Economic Outlook, showing that hiring plans fell 17 points to 61. There is a lot of underlying weakness in the labor market. A lot of signs of recession on the horizon, but except for in Washington, D.C., they don't see it there. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Back for a repeat appearance. Glad to have you with us.
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Kellee and Sean Malone are with us. They're actually and actively on the front lines.
We are
Both.
fighting the fight.
So here's the issue is guys like me, I can get all this data coming into me, and I kind of cull it down and share data. And a lot of it is national data. We do get some local data, and I follow the local data. But the bottom line with all of that is, what does it mean to you? Well, it doesn't tell you that in Temecula, where you guys are from, and I see your postings, you get some of the same reports that I do.
Yes.
Talking about average days on the market is 76.
Right.
Right. So I could talk about what the national numbers are, but if you're wanting to move to Temecula, if you're wanting to leave Temecula, you need to talk to a professional.
Correct. Yes.
Right, because you're out there. You probably know these numbers before they even hit these wires that we all get.
Yeah,
Correct.
we're feeling it.
So, are you seeing people? What's the market like? I guess is the best way to start.
The market is soft right now. There is
Which that in itself is something, because half the time you talk to a real estate professional, oh, it's great,
Yeah, burning hot.
or it's
Burning hot.
amazing.
well,
But it's not true.
Look, the reality is this time of year it definitely slows down. I mean, that's a norm. But we're saying, besides the fact that people are dropping their prices, buyers have slowed their searches. They're waiting for the rates to come down. We just did an open house on Sunday, and buyers that came through, they were, they're waiting out the market. They're looking for the best deal. They want to offer $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 below the list price. So, we'll wait till January. We'll wait till January. So we're seeing a lot of people on the fence, buyers that have sold their property. They were, had their property for sale, sold it, are renting and sitting on their
the
cash. A lot of that.
Wow, sitting on cash.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you see the prices dropping a lot?
The prices are coming down across the board in
But
our
is it-
area.
Is it enough to make up for like I just shared over time of 40? If real estate prices go up 4%.
No, but
So-
but look, we're being told you marry the house, you date the rate. Right.
Okay.
So we're still talking about opportunity for buyers. You're still able to buy the properties. And again, there's discounts. We had a seller discount property $300,000. We had another one discount the property $100,000. So although the rate is higher and they're going to pay more for the monthly payment, overall they're getting a better deal for the property. So it works in our favor. The rate eventually is going to come down. It might take a couple years before they're in a position to refinance based on equity position, et cetera, but it's still a great time to buy.
So I'm gonna throw out my thesis, and I did this on radio yesterday, and I want to get your thoughts on it because I'm just a numbers guy, right? I don't go out there and I don't look at properties. Yeah, every once in a while I do just for fun, but I'm not out there seeing them all the time. So my thesis yesterday, I did a full, basically a workshop. It'll be posted on all of our socials in the next couple of days. And I basically gave 3 different ways of selling a property without reducing the price. One of them was to say, okay, and you just mentioned a property that gave $100,000 price concession. And I said, I actually used $100,000 as my example yesterday on $1 million property. And I said, for $30,000, I can show you probably a 1.5% reduction in interest rate and save the buyer $140,000. In interest payments over the holding period. I use 13 years. I don't know what you're finding as far as people holding. What are your thoughts about things like that?
I think we've got to be creative in these markets, and it is a conversation I have with each and every one of my sellers regarding ways to help buyers benefit from reducing their rate, buying down their rate, offering a concession in order to do that. Because look, all buyers are payment conscious.
Right.
That's at the end of the day, they're payment conscious. If you're talking about a rate that went at the beginning of the year 3.5% and it went to 7%, you're really doubling what their payment was for the same house.
Absolutely.
So if you're able to help them and buy down that rate, it gives them a little bit of ease, and also helps the buyer feel like they're getting something for their pain.
Well, and there's also another aspect to this is about getting to know your customer. What are you doing with this purchase? Are you planning to flip it? Are you, what is the end goal? Are you going to be here for 10 years?
Right.
If you're going to be here for 10 years, then it's the creative financing. There's other aspects to say, let's help you get into this. But if you're just coming in to rip out the flooring in the kitchen, we need to work on price then. So
it's interesting you say that, because there's a person that I work with who basically just said the exact same thing. He actually said to me, he said, "Hey, Ron, I just want private money." He said, something, I don't care if I'm paying 7%, 8%, 9%.
It's temporary.
It's
I'm
temporary.
only be keeping it, maybe 4 months.
Right.
But when you're in the situation and someone's like, well, should I really put this down? Should I put this offer in to buy this house? Do you think it's going to fall even more? Should I wait till next year, June, it falls another 50,000? How long are you going to live here? Well, probably 10 years. What does it matter? It'll go up 200,000 in 10 years. So, this.
So 50,000, if my math is correct, over 10 years, is that $500 a month?
Yeah.
Is it? I think that's the right
So
number.
why would you?
But
If
it's
this
not a
is the
big
house
issue.
that you love for you and your family, and getting to know your customer, and the school is right, and the area is right, and this is where you want to move from wherever you're coming from to here, why wouldn't you? Don't worry about it. It'll change. The whole industry will change.
So we're going to talk about that more. Getting to know your customers, suitability, the client consultation. We'll talk about all that and more when we come back with Kellee and Sean. We're going to also talk about what's going on with home prices. Ask a professional. They're the ones that know this stuff. You can reach me, though, anytime. 800. I can put you in touch with them. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in less than 1 minute.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily home and finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule your appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. You need to get registered on there for a lot of reasons. Whether you're thinking about buying or selling, okay, that's great. It's good information. It lets you shop anywhere in the country. About 97% of the properties throughout the country are listed there. We're also adding a new budgeting tool in there. It'll give you an idea of when you're credit qualified, help you get prepared to buy that house. rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. And oh yeah, it's free. What's going on with your home prices? Ask a professional. That's the bottom line all the time. And yeah, I know I've had a real estate license for years and I'm not qualified to do a real estate transaction, but the professionals are. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home this year, you may have questions about what's happening with home prices today as the market cools. In the simplest sense, nationally experts don't expect prices to come crashing down, but the level of home price moderation will depend on factors like supply and demand in the local market. That means moving forward, home price appreciation will continue to vary by location, with more significant changes happening in overheated areas. Here's a quick snapshot of what the experts are saying. Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com, says, quote, "The major question on the minds of homeowners and aspiring buyers alike is what will happen to home prices. Soaring prices were propelled by all-time low mortgage rates, which are a thing of the past. As a result, home price growth is expected to continue slowing, dipping below its pre-pandemic average to 5.4%. Again, if you put 10% down, that's 54% a year on your investment." Mark Fleming, chief economist at First American, says, quote, "House price appreciation is slow in all 50 markets we track, but the deceleration is generally more dramatic in areas that experience the strongest peak appreciation rates," unquote. Taylor Marr, deputy chief economist at Redfin, says, quote, "For those bearish folks eagerly awaiting the home price crash, you're going to have to keep waiting. As much as demand is pulling back, supply is as well, reducing downward pressure on prices in the short run," unquote. John Paulson, founder of Paulson and Company, says, quote, "It's true, housing may be a little frothy, so housing prices may come down or they may plateau," unquote. What does this mean for you? The best way to get answers you need is to lean on a local real estate advisor. They'll be able to explain the latest trends in your specific market so you can make a confident and informed decision on your next step toward buying or selling a house. Bottom line, if you have questions about what's happening with prices today, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I will put you in touch with a great real estate professional in your area if you want stats, some of the stats that we use, and you want it on your area, list rsrana.com, list rsrana.com. Now, yes, that's going to give you stats for Anaheim. But when you go on to that, you can actually put your zip code in there, and it's going to give you a lot of great stats just for you. rsrlistana.com, rsrlistana.com. Get that information as always. That's the real-time real estate segment. And remember, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, can I count on you for that introduction? Our team will help you with the financing, and we'll put you in touch with great real estate professionals to help you find your next dream home. Or maybe it's that starter stepping stone, but hey, that can even be your dream home because it's a lot better than renting. Just throw that out there. Before the break, we're going to continue our conversation with Kellee and Sean Malone. But before the break, Sean brought up a great point, and I'm not sure that we spend enough time talking about this. And the issue is consultations. You're talking to a real estate professional. Now, I know your best friend's dog walker got a real estate license, and they're now the expert in the market. And they know everything that you want and everything that you need. Well, I think I've got a friend here that might have told us something about that.
You know better than that.
Exactly. So what you need to do is talk to a professional. Tell me about your process of helping either a buyer or a seller Does it include a consultation, or do you just go and start showing properties the day they call you?
No.
Sean, no one can hear you shake your head. We're on radio.
Oh, that's right. No,
I'll let you start.
I'm going to let Kellee answer that one.
So especially when it comes, we're primarily listing agents. We do work with buyers, obviously, but
Hopefully somebody's going to buy those listings.
people do buy the listings. The consultation is really, it's listening to the seller's needs, what their end game is, if they're wanting to sell because they're wanting to upgrade their home, the reasons for them selling, timing for them selling. And look, we always tell, we don't have a crystal ball. We work with the data that we have on a daily basis. And right now, when we're sitting down with sellers, we're saying, right now is if you're wanting to make a decision to purchase a home, you need to sell. Of course, you sell high, you buy high, you sell lower, you buy lower. So there's a benefit, but really,
does it matter? So the issue becomes, one of the things I always question or comment on, if you're a buying and selling, right? If you're one of those weird people that want a roof over your head as opposed to canvas, right? The market that you're in is the market that you're in both sides.
Always.
Yes.
Right. So, I mean, you're not going to buy high and sell low, buy low and sell high, because the market is the market.
But we did have quite a few sellers sell high and rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
and
sat on
rent.
their money.
And we have a property
And they're still
management
sitting on their money.
division. So it was kind of nice to move them into our rental properties, but they were literally, we're going to sell high, have our money handy. So when the market does turn, we have the potential of buying, maybe one property at a discounted price, or several if we want.
So you've been doing this for a day or two.
Yeah.
26 years. Yes.
26 years. Started at 3.
Yes.
Okay. So do you see very many people that can really time the market?
No, not too many.
Right. So if
Not too
they're
many.
going to they're going to get out of the market, and they're going to go out there and they're going to put their money on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Because they've got a crystal ball. You're the professional. You don't have the crystal ball.
Right.
And they're going to sit on the sidelines waiting for the market to go down significantly and miss out on what John Paulson did, because, he's the head of one of the biggest banks in the country and he can't figure it out. But me as a single family residence owner, I know better. Does that make much sense?
It doesn't make any sense, but
We got to do what the client wants.
But we got to do what the client wants. And, we had a significant amount of clients that actually moved out of state
Okay.
because they were able to sell high in California and replace their primary residence with maybe double the square footage or larger land, or,
Sure.
and we're able to buy a nicer property somewhere out of state, out of California. But and they were trying to time the market as well. Now, of course, the Idaho, Tennessee, Texas, they don't want Californians, so they're not really welcome when they do move.
Exactly.
But yeah, when we sit down and we're consulting with the sellers or the buyers, the big deal is we don't have a crystal ball. We're going to use the data that we have and experience that we know, going back and over the years what has taken place, and every market's a little bit different.
And it's also about running hypotheticals too. When you're sitting with someone that's selling and you're saying, look, the market just changed. It was 3-4%. Now it's 7%. What if it goes to 9%? What are your thoughts are that you're going to buy? What are you trying to achieve with the money that you're pulling out and the monthly that you want? Because if you're not paying attention to this, we're not CPAs, we're not tax people, we don't do money, but we can tell you that if you need to afford $2,800 to $4,000 a month, and that payment's going to adjust across these interest rates, where are you? Where do you land in this? So we really lead them into understanding. And of course, if we're the listing agent, it's all about pricing it right. We have to know our market. We have to know our local market, so that we're not going back to our sellers and saying to them, hey, we got to drop it again. Hey, we got to drop it again. No way.
Yeah. That's the, what does that mean when you drop it again? What is that telling the marketplace?
Yeah.
That's for you to tap on. Josh gets mad at me when we tap on the table
Oh,
because he hears it.
sorry, Josh. There's no tequila.
All right, that's the problem. And that's just coffee he's drinking. So what is it telling the marketplace when you continually dropping the price?
Well, it's out of desperation. There are some people who have to sell. We've got a listing right now that is, the owner had passed, and they are in a position they have to sell. So, they're doing a little bit of chasing the market, if you will. But it looks desperate.
Right. And whenever there's desperation, the sharks in the water start circling.
Right.
Yeah, it impacts the
Right.
entire neighborhood or the other area as well. So
Well, explain that part. How does that impact the neighborhood?
because if there's others that are thinking about selling and you're at 600 and it just dropped to 550, okay, that's a $50,000 loss. What's the difference? What's the difference between each the property, the improvements to the land? This one has a pool. Why is this 550? I don't have a pool. What am I going to sell it now? 520? 510?
So the
it
neighbors
starts this-
all
yes,
snowball.
it starts this process. When I first bought a home in Aliso Viejo, I had the neighbors walk over because I bought a short sale.
Okay.
And they walked over and they were cursing at me. You know what you just did to our home value? You're a jerk. That was my
Wow.
introduction to the neighborhood. So
Isn't that nice?
happens.
Well,
This
welcome
happens.
home.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
welcome.
neighborhood.
Well, they had lost almost $200,000. I just buried that whole entire neighborhood.
Wow.
So this is happening. If real estate agents don't understand the impact and they're chasing the market, they're also affecting the neighborhood.
Is the timing is critical because you list a property, you price it right. The buyers, there's kind of an equilibrium taking place right now because there's a little less inventory than there was even a month ago, and the buyers are, we price a property correctly, and the buyers are still making a $25,000-$50,000 offer, reduced offer. So you drop the price, they're still doing the same thing. Everybody's trying to get a deal right now.
Interesting. I want to talk to you about the negotiation-based offers because we kind of got away from that a little bit.
Right.
But I want to talk to you about that when we come back. And Josh, as normal, I'm going to throw out the Your Credit Matters segment. Sorry, guys, we'll get that eventually, or maybe I'll just record it later and we'll put it on our platforms. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in less than a minute.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. 79% of them are wrong. And since I started looking at them back in 1983, I've yet to see the one that's correct. So I'm thinking 79% might be a little bit conservative, but that's the stat that they like us to use. 79% are wrong. What makes you think yours is right? Credit Sanitizer, they've got the solutions. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990. Remember, nothing has to be on your credit report. But anything that is on your credit report must be complete, it must be accurate, and it must be verifiable. If it is not complete, if it is not accurate, and if it is not verifiable, it must be removed. Who's verifying bankruptcies? Oh, nobody? I wonder what that means. Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have that credit report, give them a call, 800-306-1990. Continuing our conversation, we're chatting with Kellee and Sean Malone, chatting real estate this morning. And, it's fun when I have professionals come in here and I can chat because I don't have to talk as much. I know some of you like that better. But, I want to chat with you a little bit because we started talking before the break. In the last couple of years, the price that a property was listed at almost all the time, from my perspective, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, was pretty much a floor. Right, you list a property and you get 700 bids in the next 20 minutes, so to speak, and the price goes up.
Right.
Is it that way now?
No.
No.
No multiple
Overnight.
bids.
Within 60 days.
It changed. So we went from 20 offers in a day, which is actual, to now, the seller sitting on the market 30, 60, 90 days. You're lucky to get, 15 showings, 20 showings. And, open houses, you can have an open house and nobody shows up, where before you had a line out the door. You had to,
Is that the market? Is that the financial environment, or is that the season?
It's all of the above. It's all of the above. It definitely is a market. And we're in the season where things slow down. So, not come to a complete halt, but slow down. And we are experiencing, sellers who, if they feel desperate, will drop their price because they have to sell. And, we're a norm, they're looking at the beginning of the year thinking, well, I could have sold this in a day, right? Well, the market has changed. So now it's, they lose patience very quickly, and then they get scared that they're not going to sell it at all.
So some of them, until they get that consult with you, might have unrealistic expectations.
Correct.
And you've got to educate them on that.
Yes.
Now, on my broadcast yesterday, when I did the workshop that we talked about earlier in the program, if you missed it, sorry. But I also talked about a mutual friend of ours who promotes the idea that real estate agents are human, and like most humans are in a capitalistic society, are willing to work for money.
Yes.
And might even work harder for more money.
Right.
And want to make more money. That's why we do what we do. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, profit is a good word. I mean, contrary to some people in Washington, profit is a good word. I shared yesterday, and I did a walkthrough on the idea, because some of the stations that I'm on, they like to promote these ideas of a cut rate brokers or flat rate brokers, or people that think that that all that you have to do is put a property on the MLS and it sells. And I shared the idea of using the commission being paid to the agent as a marketing incentive for the agent to work harder.
Right.
Do you see that as working, or is it, the radio guy that just talks for the reason of talking?
I think it can work. It doesn't work in all circumstances.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a place. So it's interesting that you say that, because it takes me back to something that you and I talked about, Kelly, before we went on air. It's the idea of understanding the basics,
right,
and getting back to knowing your craft.
Knowing your craft and being in it every day, knowing your stats, being in the real estate news. You mentioned a great website earlier. Every single day you should be in the MLS, realtor.com, NAR, DS News, Inman, finding out the details about what's going on a macro and microeconomic level when it comes to housing and how it pertains to you and your clients. You can't provide them information otherwise. Yeah,
and you and I both use a service called Altos Research.
Altos Research, yes.
Right, because they get about as granular as I know.
Yes.
I mean, I know you use them, so you must not have anything better than them. Otherwise,
we compare it with list reports, and
okay.
they're pretty on par. They do differ in some things. List reports tends to be a little less conservative, a little more optimistic, I think, in their numbers. But Altos reports seems to be dead on for me.
Yeah. So there's another issue. The question is, do you think the dog walker's friend is doing all these things after 26 years, to continually hone their craft?
No, they're in it. And, what we're going to see is a sifting of agents. We're going to definitely lose a bunch of agents in this market who do not take their career seriously. We are full-time agents. We live, eat, breathe real estate, 24/7. And
you're probably been talking to the waitress at the restaurant about real estate.
Oh gosh,
there's no difference.
Sean talks to everybody about
real estate. There's no difference between Tuesday, Saturday. It doesn't matter.
It's the day that ends in Y.
7 days a week, real estate.
10
all the
o'clock
time.
at night.
7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. We were up till last night, 10 o'clock, working on 2 deals. It never ever ends. You got to be an advocate too for your clients, and that's one of the big things about Purple Bricks, Open Door, that whatever. Yeah, like Kelly stated, that house in the corner that sat vacant because they moved out of state and they're trying to sell, and they just need to dump it, whatever. And they don't really care that they lost $50,000 on the difference of the cost because Open Door sold it for them. Great, congratulations, it sold. But then the person that bought it turns around and either sells it for a profit or has a huge loss on it because it wasn't priced right. And there's a leak. There's a slab leak that no one. your real estate agent is there to protect you, is supposed to be fighting for you. And that's what we do for our clients and teach our agents to do as well.
That's an interesting concept, right? Because the whole issue with the real estate agent, and again, tell me if I'm wrong, I say that you don't need a real estate agent to find a house. You need the real estate agent to guide you on the path of acquiring or selling a house.
Yep.
Contract to close is really, and you're not getting, as an agent, you're not getting paid for what you're doing right now. You're getting paid for 26 years worth of experience.
Correct. And that's the difference is having the experience. Negotiating is the key right now. Being able to negotiate on behalf of the seller and the buyer, because you're negotiating on behalf of the seller, obviously to get them the maximum amount that they for their property in the shortest amount of time, but also teaching them this is what you have to put on your buyer eyes, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller. What do the buyers need? How best do we sell this house? What do we need to offer when it comes to like some sort of a credit towards their closing costs or towards their interest rate buy down, which I mean, that's a hot topic right now.
Sure. And most people are just self-serving. Most people are doing them the wrong way because they're doing the temporary, which doesn't help somebody
right.
long term. It doesn't help them continue to for qualification purposes. So here's the challenge then. So I've been using, I've got a dog and I love dogs and I walk my dog and all that stuff. So don't get mad at me that I'm a dog lover. So the dog walker that's getting into real estate, what do they need? How do they get into this industry? Because it is a great industry without having all that experience. How do they get in? Or can you just, is there no entry level?
Well, of course.
There is no barrier to entry other than you've got to pass a real estate test and you have your license and you go work for a broker. So that's the easy part. The hard part is having the guidance to know what you need to be doing every day, the activities it takes to meet your transaction goal so that you can make a living doing real estate every single day.
So are there programs where people go to get training, or how does that part work?
There are. So we have the Real Estate Academy, which we offer. We do 3 to 4 times per year. And it's a 6-week program, 6 Saturdays consecutive from 9 to 2 p.m. And we literally walk the agents not only through the contract, which you need to know backwards, forwards, start to finish, memorize, but also marketing, what it takes daily, your activities that you should be doing every single day to help you get business. So we break it down for each and every intern. We call them the interns because they're just getting started.
That's really what they are.
They're interns. Yeah. And so we break it down for them and we literally give them the tools necessary to make this their full-time career. That's it. We want them to have everything needed to make it their full-time career. And then, look, we don't give leads. I give leads to agents that are, my realtor.com and my Zillow people. I will give them leads. They've earned the right to have those leads because they're good at what they do. But new agents, I don't give them leads. I throw them in at the deep end of the pool and see if they can swim. And
Sure.
Those people that can swim, they demonstrate, they not only pick up the ball, they run with it. I'll give them leads.
So it's an interesting way of doing business. And unfortunately, the industry from the legislative level, which I'm not a big fan of legislators anyway. You may have noticed.
Me either.
Right.
Not
But
at all.
you're talking about, I think about this. Now, I don't have much hair, but the hair cutter that I used to go to had to have 1,800 hours of training.
Right.
And in real estate, pass the test and you can go out there and help somebody spend $500,000.
Right.
You could, yeah.
You are helping them
You've got every license in the world to do it, right?
a life decision, decision, and one of the most important decisions of anybody's life.
That's why we take it pretty seriously about being an advocate for our clients, is because this is serious. If we have horror stories, everyone does, about someone who is a for sale by owner, they made $100 million on their side. They think they know money. They have some, unscrupulous type of a person come in with a buyer, lays out the contract, sues them after. It just never ends, right? But they were the smartest person in the room and they sold their own home. We're here to protect them. And we're also here to train others how you can protect your clients. So, and there's a lot.
And how to make it get into a great career.
Yeah.
Right? You wouldn't be doing it for as many years. I wouldn't be doing it this many years if it's not a very, very gratifying career.
Yeah, gratifying. Yes, we're passionate about what we do because we love helping people. And the thing is, having clients for life. We just did a client appreciation party where we had 116 people do an event where we said thank you.
These were agents and past clients.
Agents and past clients,
right?
and
thank you so much for your business.
The clients that I think the most I've sold one particular client is 10 homes over 26 years. I've been the same agent every single time they list and they buy. So that's our goal. We want to be.
You can't retire on this next transaction.
Right. Yeah. We want to be the resource for life. That's our goal. So they contact us because they want the information, the up-to-date information about, is it a good time to sell? Is it a good time to buy? Great information. If you want to meet Kellee and Sean Malone, either or, give me a call, 800-306. You can meet them both. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I'd be happy to put you in touch with them if you're looking to buy, sell, or get trained in the real estate world. Sounds like a great academy that they've got going there. Get trained. I mean, if you want to be in the industry, if you're going to help somebody with the money, with their biggest asset, their biggest liability, know what the heck you're doing. Take it seriously, not just this, I got a license, I can go do it. That's garbage. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.